LifeShare Technologies, which is what we're going to be talking to you about today. You have something called Community Share, or the Crestwood Connector, as it's internally referred to, that we'll be showing you how to set up and use. We're actually going to get it installed for you today, so we're going to show you how to input the information, and you'll instantly have information showing up on your TV. So, that's the purpose of today's session. This is really, really easy. Josh is going to take you through the whole process of how to get information in and how this all works. So it's very simple. We built this specifically so this is not a burden for you to learn how to use or to maintain. And I think you're going to see that when you get done. So even if you don't have a lot of computer experience, or you're still really, learning some things, you'll have no trouble at all with this. So we've got some little cheat sheets I'm going to pass out for you. Actually, everything you need to know is going to fit on this little card, so that's the good news. So we'll take you through that. We also, though, have a little information sheet or booklet that will tell you how to put information in. So if you ever need to refer back to something after today's session, then you could always have something in hand to do that. But we appreciate the opportunity to be here, and we'll get you all set up today. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Josh, and he will walk us through the process.
Thanks, Steve. So from an understanding perspective, what I'd like to show you today is what you're going to see on the TVs, which this is a representation of that over here, and then what you'll do to get stuff onto those TVs. So to take a step back, the process to get to this place is really quite simple. And you start by going to the LifeShare website. So you start by going to our website. Now what's nice about this is you can do this from anywhere that you can get online, whether that's here at the building, or if that's at home, or if that's on your iPad, if you've got a tablet or something like that. But anywhere that you can get online, you're able to access the information that shows up on the TVs here. So you start by going to lifesharetech.com, which is our website. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a button that says Sign In. So when you click that, you're brought to a login page, and each of you have your own account that you can log in with. And the way that that works is your email address, and I'm going to sign in as the leasing office individual here, which I believe is Lona. Is Lona here? No. Okay. So I'm going to sign into that account and show you what it looks like. But each of you have one, so it's just simply your email address, and then you have a password that's assigned to you as well, and we'll give you those here shortly. So what's really neat is what I'm going to do over here is going to be immediately reflected on this TV right here. So as you see along the left-hand side, there's basically 8 or 9 different categories that you can enter information into. There's the activities, menu, scrapbook, which is the photo upload area, videos, birthdays, obituaries, which I understand you all will not be using, announcements, weather, and advertisements. So we'll kind of go through each of those, and I'll explain how to go through and add information. So we started here on the Activities tab, and let's add something for today. So we go on the calendar over here to the right, and we click on a date that we want to enter something into. So I'll click on the 8th. You'll see that there's nothing listed there. So right here, there's a little button that says Add. What you're going to become familiar with is this is a very common theme on how you add anything into any of the areas. There's a button on the upper right that says Add. So I'm going to click Add. I'm going to add an activity for today. So I'm going to set this activity to show up at 10:30. And we're going to call it Bingo in the cafe. And now the activities have this option to say, does this item repeat? So what's nice about this is you can enter this once, and if it repeats on some kind of schedule, you never have to worry about entering it again. So if I'm going to say, Bingo in the cafe happens every Monday and Friday at 10:30. I'm not going to set an end date because there's no really need to do that today. And then I'm going to click Save. And so you'll see that Bingo in the cafe has been entered, 10:30, and it's got this little arrow icon indicating that it's set up to repeat. So now that if I go back out to the calendar, you'll see that on Wednesdays and Fridays, I've got something that shows up for each of those days. Consequently, on the TV side, what's going to happen is it's going to take that bingo in the cafe and it's going to display it on the activities billboard that shows up in the slideshow. And you'll kind of see that roll through here as we go along. I want to go ahead and add another activity on the 8th. We're going to call it training at 9:30. Never repeats. And it's just as easy as entering that. The operation for the menu is exactly the same. You click on menu on the left, you find a date on the calendar, and you click the add button in the upper right hand corner. So what we've done is we've made the pattern for entering the information in each of these areas pretty much the same. So it's the same thing over and over and over again. So let's say for lunch today, we're going to have grilled cheese, salad, and apples. So you have the ability to set repeating items on the menu as well. So if this is the same menu for every Monday or every first Monday of the month, you can do that as well. You can also upload a picture to the menu items. I'm not going to do that today, but if you have some nice savory photos of the food that's for lunch or dinner, you can upload those as well. So I save, and now it's going to be part of the slideshow. So as you can see, on the morning activity slides, it shows the training and the bingo in the cafe that we entered. So it automatically takes care of the formatting, the visual aspects of it. You don't have to worry about taking care of any of that. You just put the information, the data into our system, and we present it for you on the TVs in your common areas.
Can you enter a photo for the activities?
There's not a photo for the activities, no. But that's a great segue into the scrapbook area. So the scrapbook area is where, if you commonly take photos at some of the activities of the residents or some of the staff, the scrapbook is where those are going to land or where those are going to end up. And the scrapbook is based on this concept of albums. So you would probably create an album for the activity that you've taken the pictures of. So let's say we have the activity of bingo in the cafe this morning. So we've created that album. In the upper right hand corner, there's a button that says add pictures. And then this is where you would upload those pictures into. Now, how that looks over here is it creates just a little mini slideshow where the photos lay over top of each other.
Like in the corner somewhere? Or?
Right in the middle.
Ah.
Exactly in the middle. It takes up the whole screen. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos on my computer. Otherwise, I would upload some. Okay, so I just downloaded a picture from the internet, and we'll use this as an example. Well, you simply browse your computer to find the picture, and then it uploads it automatically, and you have the ability to add a caption to a picture. So we'll just call this one Winners, and I'll click Done. And now that particular picture is added into the Bingo in the Cafe album. So you can delete those pictures, or you can create other albums, things like that. So it creates a slideshow corresponding to those albums that you've set up in the scrapbook. Is that clear? I kind of changed it up there and I went and downloaded a picture, so that might have made it a little confusing. But okay. Videos are another interesting area where you can really get creative and have a lot of fun with videos. Videos are a lot like pictures in that you can upload videos from your computer. So if you have a video file that you've taken, on a camera or a phone or something like that, you can upload it directly from your computer. Or we also have the ability for you to add a YouTube video to the slideshow that shows on the TV. So this is really, really fun in cases where you find videos that the residents might find entertaining, or maybe even there's some activity value in the videos themselves. So the way that you do this is you have this window open where it's asking you to paste in the YouTube address. And then you open up another window and you actually go to the YouTube website. So this is a big hit
Oh, yeah.
at a number of the campuses that we've worked with. We've got the surprise kitty video. So the way that you do this is you, at the top, where you see the address, where it says youtube.com/blah, blah, blah, is you're going to actually copy that address, and you're going to go back over to LifeShare, and you're going to paste that address right into that field. And I'm going to caption this kitty, and I'll click Save. So now we have that video as part of our slideshow as well. One thing to understand about the YouTube videos is the first time through that they play on the TV, it may be a little laggy because we're connecting out to YouTube, via the internet to pull that video. So after the first time it plays, it should play smoothly each time. So, surprise kitty videos. There we go. And if you have audio on your TV, you'll actually hear the cat or whatever audio may accompany the video. So videos can be deleted over here or hidden. Now why is hidden really important? So let's say I hide this video. You'll see it kind of grays it out over here. Well, hiding a video will remove it from the slideshow. So that means it's no longer going to show up in the regular rotation. But with the LifeShare system, you can actually exit the slideshow with these remote controls. And we'll show you how to do that in a moment. But you can go through each of those same areas that you see over there, right here on the TVs. So if the residents are interested in seeing, hey, specifically what's on the menu for today, you can immediately drill down and see that. You don't have to wait for it in the slideshow. Or, as I was talking about in the videos, if a video is hidden from the slideshow, you can still play it manually through this method. So that may not seem like it would make a lot of sense, except for when you think about marketing videos or things that you can use to help promote the building or the campus, because you probably don't want those playing in just a regular rotation of the slideshow, but you still want to be able to access them in a manual mode. Let's say a prospective family's in and you want to show them a video of the food services or something like that. That's where that's really better leveraged. Any questions on videos? Birthdays, pretty straightforward. So you select a month that you want to add. We're going to go ahead and put one in for today, a fake one here. And we'll call this Josh. His birthday is Friday. And I can upload a picture of Josh that would also show along with the birthday announcement. But what's important to know about how birthdays work is they show the 7 days up to the day of your birthday. So the week out is going to say happy birthday Josh all the way up to the day of. So you're going to get that birthday announcement for a week, and then automatically after the day after my birthday, it will automatically get removed from the slideshow. So the good part about this is you could enter in the whole year's list of birthdays, and our system knows by the date when to show it and when to hide it on the slideshow. So from a birthdays perspective, think of it for uses of residents, staff. If staff, you feel like staff should be shown their birthdays as well. We've also had some locations that are using birthdays to highlight famous people. So Elvis Presley's birthday was a few months back, and they put a picture of Elvis in the birthday announcement because they thought the residents would appreciate that. So you can get creative in various ways within each of these categories. I'm not going to go into this since it's not something that you'll be using, but the process to add it is exactly the same as a birthday. And then probably the most flexible and the most used piece of content in the whole system is the announcements. Your first thought may be, how are announcements different than an activity? And in some senses, they aren't. You can highlight a specific activity with an announcement, or you can use announcements to maybe say, the cleaning crew will be coming through next Tuesday, just be aware. Or you can use an announcement as flu shots will be available next week in the lunchroom. So you can really start to think about content or campus-specific content that may be used as an announcement. So let's go ahead and add an announcement. Let's call this one Family Night. Family Night will be next Sunday at 3 p.m. And now with announcements, we have these two date fields that you can use, but you don't have to use them. So since Family Night is next Sunday at 3 p.m., I probably want to go ahead and start showing that right now. But I don't want this to show up on Monday. So I'm going to set this to hide from the slideshow the day after the event. So we know this happens on Sunday. So again, I'm going to set this to show until Monday. Does that make sense? So by setting that date, the system will know to show the announcement all the way up through the day of the day after, rather, the event. So you can start to see and get some ideas on how announcements may be used. I don't know, give me an example of an event or an activity that's coming up that you would maybe want to highlight with an announcement.
Crestwood Got Talent. Crestwood's Got Talent.
Okay, and when is that?
Friday at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so let's maybe do this. Title it Reminder. Because you'll probably have on the activity calendar, you'll probably have this. But what we'll do is we'll also set it as an announcement so that people will see it in a couple different ways. I don't know if the announcements have scrolled through. Okay, you probably saw a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's what the announcements look like. Now the weather area, we've already programmed the zip codes for this area to show up, which is why you see the radar and the current conditions and the 5-day forecast automatically populate. So you don't really have to do anything with the weather. But if you wanted to add another zip code, you just simply click add and then you put in the zip code. And what our system does is it connects to the National Weather Service and it figures out, based on that zip code that you put in, what's the closest weather station. And then it displays the weather for that area. And then lastly, advertisements. I'm not certain that you all be using advertisements as well, but this is a way for you to upload a graphic that you generate. So let's say you build a slide or a picture that you want to upload into the slideshow. You'd be able to do that right here. This is where you can get pretty custom with the graphics and things like that. There's some opportunities for you to maybe partner with some local companies or local businesses to promote their services on here, but again, I'm not certain that you all are going to be using the advertisements. So any questions?
How do you know what size to make those images?
Great question. So our system will basically scale them to the correct size, but we can provide you the exact pixel dimensions that would be necessary for advertisers or yourself if you're interested in that.
That'd be awesome.
Yep. So who's frightened? Scared? Anybody? Questions? Concerns? Like I said, each of you have an account that we'll give you access into. That's based on your email address and a password that we provide. But you're able to log into that today. If you have any questions, Steve's got some cards around support, things like that. Yeah.
Well, I have a question because I know, like, if I'm logged in to Crestwood account, I can't get on the internet at the same time. So will that affect when I want to download something for the program, live share, or?
You have to be on the internet to get on the site.
I know,
regular
But I'm-
internet, but you can't go
but-
on it through Justice Center.
When I'm on Justice, I can't bring up internet. I have to log out and then bring up internet, so is that gonna,
You don't necessarily have to log out. You can minimize your desktop and then go into your computer's actual
can?
desktop to access. Yeah, you don't have to log
I
out.
thought I
and
tried and I
stuff.
couldn't do it, but okay, I'll try again.
We have an upcoming training this week, and that's one of the topics
Okay.
one of the things that I want to share with
Okay.
you, how to do that.
All right.
Any questions, Mike?
I really missed the first part. Are we doing all this things that you're just showed us how to do? Are we doing it on your website, on the internet?
Yeah, great
How
question.
does that, then it somehow or another you get it back to our whatever?
Yep, good question. So yeah, the first thing that we went through there was basically you start at the LifeShare website, our website, which is lifesharetech.com, and you click the sign in button in the upper right, and each of you will have a login and password that you use. And when you put that information into here, it automatically ends up on the TV that's running or displayed out in your lobby area. Does that help answer?
I obviously wasn't listening when you did that.
Oh, that's
My
okay.
next question is, if we put names and birth dates in on your website, how secure are these that those aren't going to be plastered all over the universe?
That's a great question. So we use the same security that banking websites use as far as SSL certificates and things like that. There's a one-to-one connection between your account here and what's displayed over here. So anything that you don't want displayed here, obviously you should make sure you don't enter it into our system. But the security of our system is as secure as any online banking site or anything like that.
It's your data exclusively. We
Yeah.
don't do anything with it. It's, all we're doing is passing it straight to your box.
In other words, you don't have accounts that you sell.
Nope.
No, that's a
Not at
great
all.
question. We do not sell any of that information. Mike?
When do you expect a preview of what's being seen on the televisions on the website as well? That way you can actually visually see what you're entering in versus having
that's
to run to a
That's a
screen.
fair question and a request that we've heard from others as well. I can't give you a firm date on that. I can tell you that it's something that we're working towards. So, over time, there's going to be enhancements made to this side of it to make things easier for you all, and we may add, new features. And, what Mike's talking about is specifically a feature that would show you what it looks like on the TV right in here, rather than you putting it in there and then having to go out to the TV and see it. And we'll be working on those features, obviously, on an ongoing basis.
Question, do you have to stay logged in for it to remain on the TV, or?
No, you do not. That's a good question. Very good question.
Can you talk a little bit about, like character limits or how much can display on the screen? Because I know
Yeah.
that I heard that people were, typing in a bunch of information and then it was just gone.
Yeah,
So I don't want to, waste your time.
That's a good question. No, that's a good question. So, unfortunately, there's not a specific character limit, and the reason that we don't have a limit set is because based on the display, based on the TV type and the display type, that's very variable. I mean, it can vary greatly from one unit to another. So typically what we do is after you enter your first few, you're going to get a sense for, on announcements, how long should a title be, or how much space do I have in the text area. Now, as far as activities go, let's specifically talk about activities. If I enter an activity with a really long title, so okay, that's fine, that's perfectly fine. What's going to happen on the activity slide is we're going to actually wrap that to a second line. So what that does then is it may push one of the bottom activities onto a next slide, right? So we can do some calculations there. Where it gets a little tricky is the announcements. So the announcements is probably the most common area where people put a bunch of information and it pushes it off the top and bottom, and so it may get cut off. So then to fix that, you just simply come back in and edit, whatever the problem might be. Yep.
So it's not like the pictures, it adjusts the text size. If there's a certain text size then, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, and that text size is static or fixed, so to
Right.
speak, by design, because we want to make sure that it stays large and easily seen. Now, as far as pictures go, that makes me think of another thing though. So let's say you upload pictures from a camera, and some of you may have seen this before, you download the pictures from your camera and they're just gigantic photos. Well, our system is automatically going to scale those down to an appropriate size to fit on the screen so that it's not, you're only seeing a third of the picture. So we do scale the photos so that they display properly. Yeah?
I think I answered all questions, thank you.
Well done.
What about, and I mean, I know everybody will get a feel for it, but what about if they upload 1,500 pictures? I mean, is there
That's another really great question. So let's say in the scrapbook album that I have here, Bingo in the Cafe, let's say you take 300 pictures from that activity and you upload all 300 into this album. What we're going to do on the display side is every rotation through the slides, we're going to take a random 5 to 7 from that list of 300. So each time through, we're only going to take a maximum of 7. So that over here, it's not 300 pictures right in a row. So we've built it in so that every cycle through, we pull a random 5 to 7 photos from each of the albums that are in here.
Will people still be able to watch TV programs with this on?
So they won't be on simultaneously, so you can't watch TV and see this at the same time, but you can switch the TVs back and forth from television programming to the light share system. Or Crestwood Connector, I guess, is what you're calling it.
Now, those boxes hooked up on the outside of our TVs.
So we're going to be setting those up so that they're on the back of the TV, so that they're out of sight.
Good.
And you'll have the remote in your mailbox.
Do I?
The remote will be in your mailbox.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about
Yeah.
let's talk about the remote for
Push
just a
the
second.
remote out. Well,
No.
So each of the units or each of these little boxes that are connected to TVs comes with this little remote control. The remote has arrows, directional arrows, an OK button in the middle, and a little M or menu button in the lower left-hand corner. So to exit the slideshow, so if let's say I wanted to exit the slideshow, I hit that menu button in the lower left-hand corner, and you'll see that it takes you out to the menu. So now I can use the arrows to go up and down through each of the sections. Really, really pretty simple. Now to restart the slideshow, it'll automatically restart after 10 minutes of inactivity here. So let's say you just leave it on this screen for 10 minutes. It'll automatically relaunch that. Or you can go back out to the top. And the top option is slideshow. Just click OK, and it restarts it that way as well.
Does the remote need to be pointed towards the unit for it to
Yep.
work?
It's an IR remote, so it's got to have some sort of line of sight to be able to detect the button pushing. You probably saw I pushed it a minute ago and I was off to the side and it didn't work. So it does need to have a little bit of line of sight. To be able
So
to
will
detect.
we be needing to leave that remote by the TV, just like the TV remote too then?
What-
For other people to use it, or?
Well, no, what we recommend is usually you all keep it in your
That's
office
what I
and
thought.
probably in your desk because
Okay.
you're going to be the ones that use it 98% of the time.
Okay. Which is, I thought was a good idea, I just wanted to clarify.
No. From a troubleshooting perspective, these boxes that are connected to the TV, the way that this all works is these boxes connect to the internet, the wireless internet that's available here. And so if there is an issue with the internet, then obviously our system's not going to be able to work. So if the internet's down, this is not going to display properly. But what we do, there are smarts in the system to detect when the internet gets fixed, it will automatically restart our system as well.
Yeah, like on our activities, can we do like, say like the whole month of May, just put everything in there that we have going on?
Yep. You can not only do the whole month of May, you can do as far out into the future as you want. So those little arrows to the name of the month there will take you forward and back. So if you know the activity calendar out through 2017, you can keep putting it in.
Okay. Okay, that helps us out, because we do our calendars like 2 months in advance.
Yep.
Speaking of which.
Any other questions?
Yes. So will a repeating event also carry to the next month and next month too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Absolutely.
And if you have some events happen like the first Thursday of every month, you can put those repeating and it will launch those out. So what, 50% of your events probably are recurring, so you put them in once and you're done with it.
Yeah. So let's look real quick, that's the last thing I'd like to show you, at the repeating options on activities. So let's add one here called, give me an activity.
Building there.
So we'll just set it for 6 p.m. Now, the repeating options are never, which is just a one-time event. It'll happen on that day at that time. Daily, so if I choose daily, it's going to happen every single day. If I choose weekly, it's going to allow me to choose, it's already going to check the day that I clicked on from the calendar, so it's going to assume that it's going to happen every Thursday, and if I need to add it, every Tuesday and Thursday, set that there. Monthly day of the month. So what this option says is this event's going to happen on the 2nd of every month. So no matter what day the 2nd is, this event's going to happen then. For the more practical use, it's probably monthly day of week, which is this is going to happen on the first Thursday of every month.
There.
Right?
That's one.
Cool. And the reason that it picked the first Thursday is because it knows that May 5th is the first Thursday of the month. So that's how that works. Each of you, as I said, have a login and password. This My Account area in the upper right-hand corner is where you can go and change your password if you need to do that. If for some reason you get to the login page and can't remember your password, there's a Forgot My Password link that will send an email to your email address with a way to temporarily change that. And then if you really can't make that happen, or if something's going wrong for you, obviously we've got our support email and support phone number that we're leaving behind with you all today.
When is the support phone answered?
It's typically 8 to 5, 8 to 6, but we have that forwarded sometimes after hours, so you may get some extended support after that.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
And pretty much the same with the email?
Yeah.